0 allows for them to make miraculous team fights go into their favor, but also to make comebacks happen. So I would love to see if that Hanzo is the one that gets targeted here. It's definitely a great start to make sure to take away the foundation of what Zealots have.
They also played the same style against Fnatic already, and we know that the Zealots are absolutely willing to stick with the draft when it works and when their opponent doesn't take these picks away from them. So I could totally see them again trying to head into Tyrael, trying to get Uther Tacita and combo it off with Hanzo here. The first pick of them is going to tell us already a lot, and from Diamond Skin the question remains, how are they going to adjust their own draft now? Are they going to try a completely different style, or what's the thought process going into game number 2 now that you are already behind in the series?
Zealots still thinking about their ban, where they want to go. Do they want to get rid of Tracer still, keep her away? It's one of the battlegrounds that you don't see Tracer on as often, but still one that she could come in occasionally.
Yeah, Tracer is also a hero that hasn't really been played too much by Diamond Skin. They played her once, and that was, if I'm not mistaken, on Tomb of the Spider Queen, when Darkmonk played her for the first time, and they lost the game. So not quite sure if I would be too scared of Tracer right now. The Gul'dan ban, on the other hand, is very understandable, since he offers so much on the map. Abathur, we have seen the Slug banned out over and over again.
Yeah.
But now it comes down to the first pick. So are we going to see Hanzo again as the early pick here? And yes, we do. So already the potential set up for very much the same composition that we had in the last game. Now the question is, how will Diamond Skin react? Do they say, well, we don't care about what you take, we just want to play to our own strength and take heroes that we are comfortable with? Or are we going to see maybe an early Uther pick right now, or Tyrael being picked early, which would definitely take a few of the tools away that Zealots like to use. And Tyrael here, of course, now with the shield build in particular, is absolutely fantastic and offers so much for the sustain around Shrine fights.
Personally, I wouldn't mind a Blaze Uther opening, but also a Blaze Malfurion opening is great too. Wolf Joe likes Malfurion, has played him in the past pretty often, so I wouldn't mind seeing that opening as well, but I don't think we want to go into a Genji, just because of how low a priority he's been lately.
I mean, Greymane is another hero to consider here, and
True.
he would be, in my eyes, a higher priority than Genji for now, just because he offers more when it comes to the actual Shrine fight. So something along the lines of a Tyrael, Greymane, for example, maybe getting Uther in with that mix. That's something I would really like to see from them. Blaze Malfurion, you called it, they're going for it.
So we get the Malf in, which is nice here, but will Zealots just snap pick what they've always gone for? Last time they went Uther and Tyrael. Uther falls off a little bit on this battleground, not helping on the Shrine, which is a point that we should talk about. Tyrael, though, gives you a little bit of control. He can hold the front line still.
I mean, I want to see what Diamond Skin walks away with in the end.
Sure.
At this point, I'm not a massive fan of the draft that they have here. Not because it's bad. Malfurion offers a lot here. We talked about Fnatic, for example, running a lot of Malfurion here because they like to play around the roots when it comes to the Shrine. And both of the heroes are absolutely fine. Both of them are very, very strong, have a good win ratio right now, a high involvement rate, and offer a lot on the map.
Yep.
But they don't take anything away from the Zealots. And I feel it's a bit risky to give the Zealots, again, a comfort draft. And we have Tyrael and Uther immediately taken. So they run the exact same draft. I could see Diamond Skin just simply banning out Tacita because they're tired of this. But then we have seen a lot of Medivh being played by Zealots. There are other heroes that they could also run just to complement Hanzo even more. So personally, I think Blaze Malfurion as an opening was a mistake. But let's withhold judgment until we see the full draft for them. They definitely said, we don't care about what the Zealots get. And I think that was risky.
If you were to go a different route, would you go Tyrael Malfurion as your opening? I think that would be the opening that I would try to embark on, based on what Diamond Skin's played in the past.
Tyrael Malfurion, Tyrael Uther, Tyrael Greymane. I would have taken Tyrael away for sure, and then complemented him with something else. And considering that they played a lot of Greymane in the past, Greymane would have been a good addition to Tyrael, and then you can still, you still are guaranteed that no matter what Zealots do, you get a strong support with that.
Yeah, and if you lose Blaze due to a ban or him getting picked, you have options you can go to. You can pick up Malfield later on. There is Leoric. We did mention that he's fallen off a little bit, but still great on this battleground.
And now we have Tacita banned, so that's exactly what I just talked about. You can ban out Tacita. The problem is that the Zealots have played Medivh on this map before. We've seen other combinations being played by them too. They don't have to add the second support. It was just a go-to in the past. But as we've said before, with the stronger Tyrael now coming in, there's even the question, do you need Tacita? Of course, he makes Hanzo even more safe, but even without it, you could be fine here. And that is something that was, for example, missing when Zealots played against Fnatic. So that's one of the reasons why they were heavily leaning towards the Tacita. Now you have Tyrael shields, you can still head into a Medivh if you wanted to. And even if you don't, there's a lot to play around here. So Diamond Skin, they followed up immediately with Diablo and Tychus.
And they've been playing this Tychus a lot on Unfurled Shrines. They love Odin and committing to the idea of taking a shrine, taking some turret walls, if you have a Punisher available and the Odin's up and available. So they play around that heroic as much as they can. So Zealots will have to find a way to either slow down the traction of that Odin and make sure that they don't take away a shrine, or just completely ignore it altogether. And Zealots have done that in the past. They've been willing to give up shrines and move to other sides of the map. Grab turrets instead, get experience, maybe take down a fort. So as long as they have some siege potential, they'll be great.
We are still talking about a potential Dehaka on the offlane. That was a battle that we've seen on the first map where Dehaka had to go up against Blaze. We could see the same thing again in the late game. Dehaka then has, of course, the added value of running the global. They can put a bit more pressure in the meta game on their opponent. So I wouldn't be too shocked to see Dehaka picked up by them again. For me, the main question just remains, what exactly is ADRD's pick this time? Or could we maybe even see him on Hanzo again? That's something that they played before. But there's the Medivh. Highlighted it a bit earlier when Tacita got banned out that this is a fallback option for them. So they go into Medivh, and because of Medivh, instead of Dehaka, they go for Malthael. Which, of course, again, caters towards the map, works well with Uther with a Divine Shield. You can portal him in too, and then we have the Sanctification from Tyrael. So looking at those two drafts, I'm coming back to my original point. I really think that Diamond Skin could have done better in their first pick rotation. The first two picks, they could have taken tools away from the Zealots that went uncontested. And the draft that we are seeing for the red team is extremely scary.
I'm kind of interested in what Diamond Skin's going to pick up for their 5th pickup. Having Tychus here, they have some decent damage, but you need a little bit more damage in the mix-up. You already have control. You have Mouth, you have Blaze to a degree, you have Diablo. They can control Portal that is coming your way and try to mix it up. But you need something that can kill something quickly when Force of Will is used.
I mean, Genji is still open, but I'm not quite sure if I would really go into that. Tychus, as he already said, it's going to be nice to burn them down. Junkrat, quite a wave clear. And more and more, it really seems like, first of all, isolation kills are possible, but we also have now the option to just poke from outside the shrine a lot more. You have the grenade that you can use from Tychus, you can pop Odin, then you have, of course, also Junkrat with a grenade launcher. So there's a lot of tools that they have where they can simply try and get a lead on the shrine, pop Odin, get the grenades and grenade launch on Junkrat and try and secure the Immortal there.
I also like it too because you can stress out your opponent pretty well. There's Force of Will here, there's Uther, there's Tyrael shields, there's a lot of things that help sustain through fights, but with Junkrat's grenades flinging everywhere, eventually you're going to chip in some damage here and there, and maybe even get a point to where cooldowns are being overlapped, trying to save that Junkrat damage from going off. So I actually like the Junkrat. It's going to be a bit iffy. It's a wild card, but it's a wild card that can work out. We've seen it in the past for Diamond Skin.
Yeah, the thing is that Diamond Skin have actually not won a single game with Junkrat. They played him twice, but they lost both of them. And we talked about it last week. Junkrat is in this weird spot where he was played by... I have to count real quickly.
I think Team Liquid played him, Diamond Skin played him.
7 teams have played him, and only 2 of these teams, Fnatic and Dignitas, were successful with him. Everybody else lost. And if you look at his win ratio, with currently 11 games played, he sits at a 36% win ratio, which is pretty horrible, especially if you consider that only 2 of the teams have been able to get these wins. So Diamond Skin used him twice, they lost both times, so third times might be the charm.
We'll see if Diamond Skin can bump that win rate. They're here on the left side. Robodoba playing Diablo, Wolf Joe Malfurion, Ross Meg on Tychus, Darkmok playing Junkrat, and Nande back on Blaze.
And to the right side, with a 1-game lead, we have the Zealots with Mopsio again on Tyrael, with Shad on Uther, Chris on Hanzo. Sounds familiar? Probably does, because that's exactly the same setup they ran in the last game. And here come the exceptions. Sarmony this time on Malthael over Dehaka, and Medivh instead of Tacita, who got banned out. He's currently playing, ADRD playing Medivh over Tacita, who got banned out. So a lot of synergy. Can move in quickly with a portal, can move out. You have the extra shield for Malthael and also for Chris on Uther. Zarmony can, with the Tormented Souls, move straight into a big shrine fight. Mopsio can even help him out with Sanctification if that's needed. So a lot of great teamfight potential for Zealots in this second game.
This is the old Malthael, as kind of pointed on a little bit there by Kaldor. Tormented Souls will be the pickup. I know the new Malthael has been having some folks dabble in him and move into last rites, but we'll deal with him in a future day when he becomes available here in the HGC. So far, Zealots open up and head straight to lanes right away. I want to watch this Junkrat, Darkmok. He has been setting up his team pretty well in the matches that he did play Junkrat to get kills. Now, as mentioned by Caldor, they didn't get the victory, but he was still deadly on the Junkrat.
So another thing to point out here is that this is, of course, the map choice of Diamond Skin. And this is the third time that they chose Infernal Shrines as their map. So far, they have also played 3 times on this map, and they lost twice. So they're currently sitting at a 33% win ratio, and that is exactly the same amount of wins and losses that Zealots have on Infernal Shrines. So both of them are tied when it comes to it, but Diamond Skin loves to choose to take the map. So that's one of the things to consider here too. This is a bit of a home turf for them. They've been struggling so far in HGC 2018 a bit, but this is one of the maps where they definitely have a bit of a better track record. Zealots with a very comfortable draft for them. After level 10, of course, they have a lot of synergy here. We've been talking a bit about Malthael together with the Divine Shield as an option when he starts to jump in. And Diamond Skin, they just have to show that they can control these team fights well enough.
Which will be a major question for them, and a tall task. A lot of things they have to get through. Also, while they're in fights, they have to make sure not to group up to watch out for Hanzo and his arrows. So Diamond Skin, for now, controls pretty well here in the middle lane, but Zealots have been a little bit more aggressive on their rotations. This is allowed because of ADRD. Dropping in the portals, forcing fights here and there. It's going to fall off a little bit towards the mid-game when Diablo gets a soul stack set up and becomes a little bit more deadly. But for now, Zealots will use a small advantage they have to bully out where they can.
Yeah, Diablo can be a huge game changer. That's definitely true. That's one of these things that we could see in the game now where Diamond Skin might be able to capitalize on some of the strengths in their own draft. If they just get a couple of really nice pushes into walls after 16, maybe a quick flip over and the reset in, they could get these kills. But up to now, wasn't really the case. I mean, Robodoba is still looking for these kills. If at any point he gets the isolation and can help his team to focus on a specific target, then of course Tigers in particular is going to be the one to try and drop it right away with the bigger they are. But we still have that Medivh factor, and that can be the game changer. So ADRD is one of the heroes, or one of the players that we have to watch out for in this game.
Shrine activates to the very far north. Zealots set up a little fight here, but look at Malfurion. Watch him drop down that route. The moment the portal comes in, that'll be one of the main sources of control here for Diamond Skin with the portal coming out. Also, the trap from Junkrat. Robodoba goes in for an engage. Root gets popped in here. Rosmag doing what damage he can. Junkrat, just to be a little bit annoying, brings out some damage, but Zealots, they just chase down Rosmag. Can they get him?
The counter-aggression here, really well done, but Shad was a bit far out here. He's still able to walk away from it. The problem is the camp is still pushing. The shrine is already active at the top. It hasn't been activated yet. Nice moves by Darkmok, trying to get these isolations going. Not successful so far, but I like the way that Diamond Skin is currently trying to work around Malfurion. Always using Diablo to set something up so that Malfurion can follow up with the root, and then always you have Junkrat trying to push the target even further out of position. Didn't get them a kill yet, but it shows some of the potential that the draft has in this early stage of the game.
So much displacement, so much chaos presented here for Diamond Skin. Zealots have to make sure they don't fold under the pressure, and so far they have not. They even had a chance here to get a kill, but that's definitely something they have to contend with throughout the entire game. Now, the shrine gets activated at the top by Blaze.
Yeah, and one of the things that's really important is to also realize that the Zealots draft becomes just... I mean, every single game or composition that you have becomes a lot stronger after 10. It's obviously the strongest ability that we have in the game. But if you continue, if you look at the power spikes for Zealots and just look at it from a teamfight potential, it becomes insanely strong because of those synergies that we pointed out earlier around Malthael, Uther, that we have with Medivh as well, and Tyrael Sanctification. So that's something that around level 10 Diamond Skin should be worried about, even though they themselves have a lot of tools they can use to especially establish shrine control. I would still give Zealots around level 10 an edge in teamfights.
Diamond Skin fighting over the shrine, has 23 out of 7. A Force of Will comes out, but Mopsio winds up becoming the target. He gets focused down, Nande low, Tyrael trade comes in, and Blaze gets picked up too, a 1-for-1 trade. Yeah,
Tyrael trade value right there, but a great kill regardless by Diamond Skin. And Zealots lose one of their heroes, but the same is also true for their opponent, and with that in mind, we're having Diamond Skin starting to take the control over the shrine, as they were already so far ahead in the minion stack. Zealots simply said, okay, not going to win this one, let's move back and focus on the defense instead, and that's exactly what they're doing here. So the question remains, how much can Diamond Skin get out of this first Punisher?
See how they go. Typically, you won't have too much come in there until you get that Odin available, but there's always a chance for a follow-up into a stun, as we just saw there. Malfurion drops down the root when the Punisher goes in, and ADRD wasn't going to target. Robodoba controlling the portal exit. ADRD is able to escape.
Really well done. Darkmok with a really cool move here, trying to take ADRD down, and the follow of Diamond Skin was absolutely perfect. I love this. But at the same time, they couldn't confirm the kill. But it was, Blaze down in the one-on-one. Blaze
gets him down.
Yeah, Zarmony winning the one-on-one trade against Blaze and taking him down, so that was a bit unexpected for Diamond Skin. I was just about to talk about how the setup that we saw from Junkrat getting the isolation and then Diablo following up on it nearly netted the kill to Diamond Skin, but instead it's the Zealots now who have that slight lead. Even though Diamond Skin will still, thanks to the towers taken apart, reach level 10 earlier.
And one of the reasons why we had that Blaze fall down is because that level 4 talent, Die Alone. Soul Rip dealing 75% more damage if it only hits one hero and no other enemies. Now, this helps you in lane really well, because usually you're on that one-on-one. The tricky part is using it in team fights. So we'll keep an eye on Zarmony and see how he uses that. And if he gets any value, don't really have to go too ham on it. Obviously, Tormented Souls in itself is strong, but that just gives you an idea of what you can do against a Blaze if you get that one-on-one matchup with a Malthael.
Yeah. In the meantime, we're seeing Junkrat so just still being a nuisance. And I love the way that we have Diamond Skin playing around the camps on the map. So they're making sure they get the mercenaries and make sure that they get a bit of an edge and more pressure on the lanes with their help. But now the level 10s are in play. And this is really where the synergy comes in. So the next shrine is definitely something that we need to watch a bit closer, because the teamfight potential of the Zealots is absolutely crazy. If they can make sure that they properly use their cooldowns of the heroics, this should be a rough one for Diamond Skin. Even with Bunker, with Odin, Apocalypse, and Twilight Dream, this could be a rough one. Unless, of course, we see Malfurion with one of these perfect plays where he interrupts the Sanctification and maybe gets the perfect Twilight Dream off. That can always be a game changer, but he also needs to be in a pretty forward spot for that. So it's going to be a tough battle for Punisher number 2.
I mean, we're talking about Odin and Apocalypse. We can't forget about Riptire as well from Junkrat. The ability to make teams spread out, but also control chokes, which is great around the shrines. He can use that to drive around the shrine. You don't actually have to explode it instantly, just to make sure your opponents back up a little bit, to buy you a little bit more time in a team fight. And a great follow-up, too, to a root. So lots of tools here for Diamond Skin. Zealots, of course, have the protection on their side. It's all about who's layered better.
Yeah, and now we have camps, again, the focus of both teams. And Diamond Skin is even willing to invade on the right side of the map. So they're dancing around here. ADRD has the vision for his team, and so does Hanzo, of course. So between the two of them, they have a fairly good idea where Diamond Skin is positioning now, as Robodoba is edging even farther forward, trying to ensure that the Zealots are not taking their camp to put the pressure onto the bot lane. And the shrine is activated. Up to the top, we're having Malthael defending the camp. But as we said before, the camp control of Diamond Skin is fantastic. Their own camp taken, Zealots a little bit late to the party on their own Shaman camp, and now even another one of the Khazra camps taken away from Zealots by Diamond Skin. So Diamond Skin, when it comes to map control and camp control, doing a fantastic job in this game.
Now it's all about Shrine control. Shrine activates now. Diamond Skin instantly jumps on top of it. They'll start to clear out. Typically, you go back to about 10 to 15 minutes before you want to pop that Odin, as you'll be able to try and clear it up. But also, you pop it around 10-15 because you're waiting for your opponents to come and contest. And when they contest is when Rosmek will decide to pop Odin. And there it is. Odin comes out. 16-4 right now. It's all about the poke.
And they have 13. This is Zealots are willing to fight without the talent. They're going in for it. Sank being used. Apocalypse doesn't get the value. Here comes also Tormented Souls immediately. But the Twilight Dream of Malfurion has been dropped as well. We have Zealots starting to take a bit more control of the shrine, but they still lack the level 13 talent.
That they do. Almost going in for a fight. Had the Dragon's Arrow miss, making it a little bit harder for Malthael to get his Tormented Souls everywhere. Larian Sail also came in a little bit late. And Zealots, being behind on the talent here, will have to walk away with the tail between their legs as they lose out on the Punisher.
Yeah, they just went, it was just a time question here. They couldn't engage at the beginning because they were already a talent down. Then they started to go in for it anyways and said, guys, let's do it. We have the tools. But then retreat, and of course with Odin already activated, we just had too much of a lead for Diamond Skin when it comes to the minion stack. So now the second Punisher is pushing through, and Zealots are starting to lose out on even more experience. This is starting to become a bit rough for them.
Should be able to stop this Punisher. Keep Wall definitely a little bit deadly. No Odin for 30 and no Riptire for Junkrat, so nothing too aggressive should come in from Diamond Skin. ADRD doing its best here to look annoying on the side, but Diamond Skin, they're not biting. They move straight up, grab the turrets, open the keep wall. Dark Maka crew start to escape, and they'll be happy with that Punisher. Arrow!
Arrow comes in and hits two. They're trying to follow it up, but they are not fast enough just yet. Here comes Mopsio trying to see if he can maybe isolate someone here and get some body blocks in. Does exactly that. Once again, shots fired. Mopsio is low though. And we have Bunker dropped as well. So at this point, Diamond Skin trying to retreat here. They're already on 15. If they can retreat now, a good chance that they will get 16 for the next shrine. Diamond Skin really just plays around these small edges in experience that they have. And the control that they execute on the map helps them to do that. They get more and more camps on the map, they put the pressure onto the lanes. And the problem for the Zealots is that, yes, they might have a lot of synergy, they might have a cool composition, but if they don't get team fights on even talents, that doesn't help them too much. They again get the solo kill against Blaze, but that's just simply not enough.
It's not enough, especially with Diamond Skin grabbing a fort, which will net them more experience than that kill was worth, allowing for them to get level 16. Zealots themselves grabbing a fort to the top, which will allow them to jump up in experience, but I believe you're right. The next shrine phase should be around level 16, and if Diamond Skin continues to be on point on being on the shrine right away, they're going to be in a world where they can win almost every single shrine if they're set up.
Exactly. Zealots, I mean, for Zealots, it's honestly cute that they get the kills against Blaze. But the problem is, the bottom line, that doesn't help you if you're behind when it comes to the actual team fight and your opponent has a talent lead. So if they spread out and if they get the experience, if they maybe take a few structures down in the meantime, they have an opportunity to ideally force the fight around 16, but they need to make sure that they grab everything they can. They already have Malfield spread to the bot lane, making sure that he clears the waves. They have the rest of the team in the middle. Diamond Skin has 16 now, but Zealots should be able to get it for the shrine, and once they have it, they are going to try and force that fight, since it's one of the few 16. If they lose another Punisher, it's going to be very rough for them.
Darkma comes in to try and grab the mercenary camp that he set up. ADRD wanted to contest it. Zarmany is actually using the Tormented Souls. Wolfjo is lower and lower on health, trying to kite away. Looks like he might just be able to escape with Diablo turning around and slamming Zarmany on the wall. He oversteps and Diamond Skin gets a kill.
Great play by Robadoba. Really well done here.
The root.
And again, he gets the perfect angle against him. And Uther is dead. Robadoba just bodying them there.
Wolfjo gave him that kill though. Wolfjo put down the root, made it impossible for Uther to move over and grab the portal, and Diablo swings on in and gets the pickup. Diamond Skin, as you mentioned, bodying right now.
I'm really impressed. Giving away the comfort picks to Zealots is something where I said, okay, this is bad news. And they are actually playing really well around their own comfort pick there. Normally with a team like Zealots, one of the biggest things that you can do, one of the biggest assets that you have, is try and disrupt their flow in drafting. And since Zealots is oftentimes so fixated on one idea, what they want to run, it's quite easy to try and interrupt it by taking a few of these picks away. They still have follow-up drafts that they can utilize, but Diamond Skin ignored that completely. They just said, nope, we are absolutely confident that if we get our draft, we can take this, and they're currently proving it. I'm really impressed by it. I did not think that with the draft that the Zealots got, and how well they do with exactly that type of draft, I didn't think that Diamond Skin would be able to get this far ahead. So yeah, kudos to them. That's really impressive work.
But Zealots have been doing this the entire game, chasing the idea of being on the same talent level. Here they are, and they'll go in for a fight. Tyre goes straight for Chris in the back line. The Force of Will was a little too late. Uther is forced to use a heal. Mafio stays in the front. There comes an arrow hitting forward, but Nande, he has Bunker. He just drops it down. Tormented Soul with Divine Shield comes out. Nande escapes on the left. Wolfjo coming in, trying to keep his teammates alive, and Hanzo eventually gets picked off with Rosmag just sitting in the middle of the entire fight with Odin just shelling away.
Mopsio is down as well. Medivh goes in and tries to turn it around, but this is Diamond Skin just playing a fantastic game. Diablo is dead, but of course he had the soul stacks, and this is a kill that was bought at a heavy price. 3 heroes down on the Zealot side. A great arrow to open things up with by Chris, but then the follow-up just not strong enough, and Hanzo the first one to fall. Then Mopsio goes down, and in the end even Malthael dying. Well played here. I mean, the arrow alone was just brutal. Look at this.
Hero comes in, it hits 4. Rosbeg in the middle. Look at him. Not contested the entire time. Diving in the back line, going for that Malfurion. Nande sitting in the front, just making sure to keep him alive. And he's able to keep showing away. He gets the kill on Chris. He looks at Mopsio next. Mopsio eventually going to get picked off. But at the same time, ADRD doing whatever he can to keep his teammates alive with Zarmany. Turning around for a last-second trade as Robodoba goes for the trade there. Souls get him back in the fight, but still a clean fight from Diamond Skin. And they're able to hold off that big arrow.
Yeah, the target calls in the fights are just a bit weird. First of all, Junkrat, does an amazing job of spreading them out. So it's really difficult for them to get on the same target, since they are oftentimes, they need another second until they're back in the fight. But one of the problems that you could see here is that Malthael was starting to focus on Malfurion. And that's just the wrong target for him to go for. He started to chase him in the back, and that allowed Diablo and Blaze to just completely be in the face of everybody else. And especially when you're running Hanzo, you can't allow the tanks of your opponent to move in on Hanzo this aggressively. So Malthael just moving into the wrong spot here. He was looking for a target. Malfurion was low, and he was thinking, hey, if I can kill this guy, then they don't have a healer. We are in a good spot. So he pushes him back. But it allows the rest of Diamond Skin to just go straight for Hanzo. And once he falls, your damage is again nearly gone, especially since Tormented Souls, of course, the duration is over at that point in time. So great team fight control inside of Diamond Skin, and the Zealots just with not the proper target calling that they need here.
Diamond Skin will be able to grab these turrets to get closer to level 20. Another wave should get them there as well. Zealot's going to have to fight pretty soon here or have a miraculous defense. The tire comes around the side. Here comes the Leyline Seal, goes in the back and misses everybody there. I think it was used to actually stop the jump grab, but it completely misses. And Diamond Skin is just charging forward.
Yeah, at this point, Punishers, of course, baited into the middle. They should be able to defend here. It would really surprise me if we could see Diamond Skin already go for core, even with a 20. Punisher is nearly defeated, but losing the keep at the top lane alone is, of course, already a big blow against Zealots. And they haven't really taken any big fights yet. This team fight coordination that I was hoping for when we saw the draft, and just them seeing to dominate in team fights, hasn't happened yet. They got one good fight at the top left, but it didn't work out in their favor in the end because Robodobo was just a bit too oppressive here, and now they're 2 levels behind. It's going to be rough to soak that experience up to the next shrine.
Robodoba uses APOC, goes in for Zarmany. Zarmany is actually taking him down pretty quickly. He needs to get to his teammates. He does bolt away, goes in for another fight. Robodoba, knowing he can get picked off, is going to fall. At the same time, Malthael is floating around here, chasing down Wolf Joe, chasing down Nande. Tyrael has been lost, but a 1-for-1 trade isn't too bad for Zealots.
Yeah, good portals by Medivh this time. AD with a really good job getting Zarmany out of harm's way now too. And the kill against Diablo is important, because thanks to the underdog advantage, that actually netted them a fair amount of experience as well. But they need to make sure that they don't lose more. The roots are on the ground. AD in trouble, and he goes down as Junkrat just takes him apart with the Riptire.
Yeah, it's really hard to read that Riptire when it's going to pop off. He used the Force of Will to stay alive, and Darkmonk just waited him out patiently like a shark. He gets to pick up. Gonna have a keep falling as well as he keeps getting chunked away, and the core could be the next target here for Diamond Skin.
Yeah, at this point, I think they will most likely just do the keep. They don't have Diablo back. In the end, they are going to try, but we have Tyrael back now. I don't think they can already core here.
There's
not with Diablo.
They want to see if they can get a pick. If not, they'll escape.
Yeah. Yeah, if they get a pick, then of course, yeah, a pick would be fantastic for them. If they get Mopsio in this case, they could easily go for it. Mopsio might fall, and he actually does, and Shed is also low, so is Zarmany. They get the kills, and now, of course, it's just open season for the core.
Core gets focused down. Diamond Skin harassing Chris a little bit here while he gets healed up. Nande hoping to escape. A root will keep him alive for a little bit longer. But with 3 catapults and 3 members attacking the core, it starts to fall down to 40% and lower. ADRD is here for a defense, so can he help clear up these catapults and the rest of Diamond Skin?
Yeah, no way. This is going to be the end. Diamond Skin ties the series in impressive fashion and takes down their opponent. Zealots defeated on Infernal Shrines. Impressive play by